Net, new little video. On this one is going to be a shorty, and the reason I'm doing this one, and I'm going to link it to another video I did that talks a little bit longer, is that as I'm doing my project with the Urban Prepper, I'm noticing that a lot of people are kind of confusing, especially the Aquacel and the Aquacel AG, so silver dressings. And so I want to approach a little concept that is very important to understand, and that will make the difference between when to use the AG, so the silver ones, and the non-AG. And the concept is called bacterial burden. So what you see here as a picture is that there is a continuum of bacteria and infection process going on. So what they call about contamination, it means that right now in our body we're all contaminated. So all our skin and everything has billion trillions of bacteria. Some are bad, some are good, but our body is able to control it. So it's able to keep it out of bay and safely away, and we're not, we don't have infection, we don't have rash or anything like that. When we get a wound, so when there's an opening in their skin and then that contamination falls into our body, this is where we get into the colonize phase. And this is where sometime I see, actually not sometime, a lot of time, I see a lot of kind of misconception and also a little bit of misinformation. This is where a lot of people think, oh yeah, you need the triple antibiotic ointment, and you need to put like all those products and everything and stuff, and actually not really. There is some case and stuff and very chronic, very complicated wounds that maybe some of the time you can use those products, but in the most of the time, 95% of the time, 98% of the time, you do not need any other product than good irrigation. So if you can drink it, you can spray it on the wounds with the right PCI, and basically you'll prevent your wound from going to colonize, to critically colonize. And this is also so that you don't need all those products and stuff and triple antibiotic ointment. When you start thinking, and you don't need the silver as well, when you start thinking about silver, so the Aquacel AG, and if you don't have that honey, if you don't have that triple antibiotic ointment, it's at that phase. So basically here, when we talk about colonizing, it means that the body is able to fight the colonization. So, and I don't want to call it infection because that's where people get confused. So the body is not infected. There's a little war going on, but it's not a world war again. The body is able to regional conflict, and we're managing very well, thank you, and we don't need any help for anybody else and stuff, and everything will go well. Also, when you do primary closure, this is where a lot of time you'll bring it from this stage, colonize, to critically colonize. So that's where you have to be careful about when you close wounds, because a lot of time in primary closure, what you're going to do is close the skin, and now you're giving the perfect environment for those three little bugs to become 6. And why? Because you're giving them humidity, darkness, and you're cutting them from oxygen. So all anaerobes organism can grow very nicely, and it's a party for bacteria. So sometimes that's one of the issue, and this is why I don't like a primary closure so much for non-healthcare professional, and especially in austere environment, is that you you're closing and you're giving them the opportunity to go from colonized to critically colonized, but at this point you still do not need any of those products. So then we go to the next one, it's the critically colonized. So what happened here, and as you can see there on the little pictures, is that it shows that so this is kind of barrier, as you can see. Okay, it goes down a little bit more, so it's deeper in the skin, and it's deeper in the vessels and stuff like that. So you see here it's still not in the body, here it's inside the body but still a little bit superior, here it's going a little bit deeper, and here is doing very deeper. So when you get critically colonized, is that now the body, the war is not just regional; it has spread out to other parts of the world, and now you need some reinforcement. You need like air supports. You need, like, because the conflict is a little bit bigger, and that's when we're talk about infection. So when it goes from critically colonized, that's when we talk about infection. There's two types of infection. There's local and systemic. Locals mean it can be treated just with silver, honey, or triple or cream. I don't recommend cream, but it could be treated by cream. And then the second one is systemic. This is when you start thinking about having actually added up antibiotics because it's spread to your body. It's now in your vessels, and you can have what we call a bacteremia. It means that the bacteria is now in your blood, and it's spreading around your body, and that's where you can get very, very sick. And this is what's called the systemic. And one of the articles that I'll link down is called, there's a mnemonic for that, called Nerds and Stones. And also in my other longer video, which I'll link down as well, I talk a little bit more. But this is where the AG, honey, and everything is needed. And also in burns, because the colonize, you get very quickly to critically colonize, so you want to really that's kind of one of the cases that you want to prevent this. Or if you have high risk of critically colonized, like I was talking about bones, if you have an open bones, it can get very quick from actually colonized to systemic, because it goes into the bone, you get osteomyelitis, and boom, you get a full infection, or you even need like to do a amputation. So I just wanted to do a quickie on this one, look at the long version of it, but that concept of colonize to critically colonize. Colonize, do not need silver, do not need any product. Good irrigation, good dressings is sufficient. Critically colonize, we're talking about something overwhelming the body, and there the body needs a little bit more help. That's why we need products, that's why we need special dressing. And systemic, actually we even need to get more care about that stuff. So hopefully that was helpful, and I'll talk to you soon.